Well, again, the chosen one with the floppy ears, how he's pushing for a universal background check. Well, that's going to do nothing. It won't change a darn thing. All it is another talking point to further attack our Second Amendment rights. I just read an interesting article on World Net Daily. I'll attach the link. It was written by Leo Hoffman. Oregon shooter versus Obama's universal background check. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms said at a press conference Friday that 13 firearms were recovered from the person at the residence of Oregon mass shooter Christopher Harper Mercer. The 26-year-old who shot and killed 9 people in Umpqua Community College Thursday before losing his own life in a shootout with police had legal possession of all the guns, the ATF reported. The ATF said that all the weapons were purchased legally either by Mercer or his family members. Mercer was also wearing a flak jacket, which included 5 ammunition magazines. President Obama has hammered on the theme that America is the only industrialized nation that has repeated mass shootings, and he blamed gun violence on the nation's lack of gun control. He has advocated common sense proposals such as universal background checks using a centralized database across the 50 states. Well, all they really want to do is know where all the guns are so they can easily gather them from honest, law-abiding citizens. That's what that database would do. In California, all my weapons were registered by the police by serial number. Yeah. What this new information from ATF demonstrates is the kinds of gun control that Prohibition lobby has been pushing. Namely, the universal background checks would not have prevented the tragedy in Oregon, said David Workman, senior editor of thegunmag.org. Quote, the shooter reportedly had a clean record, and according to the ATF, he had purchased several of those guns, Workman said. Quote, all the firearms were legally purchased from a firearms dealer, so background checks would have been involved. You know what they need to do? They need to get a toxicology report on the shooter. Maybe these psychotropic drugs might have had something to do with it. I'm just saying. It would be nice to know if that in fact were the case. Goes on to say, Obama said he knew he would be criticized for trying to politicize the tragic shooting, but said it's exactly what needed to happen in order to rein in gun violence. None of the gun control proposals that Obama or the gun control crowd are proposing would have stopped this terrible tragedy, Gottlieb said. They are being intellectually dishonest. They are also being dishonest calling for new gun safety legislation. This has nothing to do with gun safety. They know that everyone supports gun safety, so they're using the term to manipulate the debates. If the president and his allies are successful in exploiting the rush of high-profile shootings, what will happen is law-abiding gun owners will be harassed by new laws, while thugs like Mercer will continue to cause more sorrow and tragedy, Gottlieb said. You know who's also reared their ugly head? Well, who do you think? Allison Parker's father, the actor Andy Parker. He said, quote, I was a Reagan Republican years ago. I have slowly watched the party devolve into something Reagan wouldn't recognize today, nor would he be part of it. Quote, Republican legislators across the country refuse to consider common sense measures to prevent the horrific gun violence that kills our loved ones each and every day. By refusing to act, they are aiding and abetting domestic terrorism. Shame on them for being the cowards that they are. Is the support of a fringe element of the NRA so important that they're willing to accept our children as collateral damage? We are at war in this country, and we must win whatever it takes. The actor went on to say, quote, "When I heard about this shooting in Oregon, I thought, this can't be, not so soon. I know it would happen again. We are a country with a strong gun culture, but I wasn't expecting it to be this soon." Really? Well, come on, folks. The guy is an actor, and a lousy one at that. You know, I've made a whole series of videos, as have others. One in particular where you see the video slowed down frame by frame, and you see a white hand when the shooter was African American. You see hair on the arm of the hand. Most Africans don't have hair on their arms. You see muzzle flash, which you wouldn't see. You see the gun not lifting properly from muzzle lift. You don't see any shells ejecting. It never happened. You saw Allison Parker running when he's shooting point blank at her head. Anyway, it's entertaining. But what amazes me is how stupid they think we are to buy all the crap that they shovel at us. Hey, Obama, we're not mushrooms. You can't keep feeding this crap and expect us to accept it. Read the article. I've given you many of the highlights. A national gun register, all it'll do is point the blue helmeted militia that is being put together by Attorney General Loretta Lynch to your front door. That's all it'll do. It'll never stop someone like Christopher Harper Mercer. Once again, I think we need a toxicology report. And I think the pharmaceutical industry might have to answer some questions as to why Holmes, the Colorado shooter, looked like he was out of his mind with his flaming red eyes. Jared Laughlin, the Tucson shooter, why he looked like he was out of his mind. And we don't know anything about Adam Lanza. We don't even know if he existed. Hey folks, wake up. Read the article. Let me know what you think. You know what I think, don't you?